As all of you know at this point, Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt, has just recently passed away. And I'm not a news channel, I'm not a journalist, so I'm not here to help you stay up to date on the development of this situation. I'm here to help myself and to help you cope with losing somebody that's very important to a world that we all hold very near and dear to our hearts, the world of professional wrestling. When I heard about the news of Bray Wyatt's passing, I sat in my office in silence for about an hour just trying to process this information. I went through all different kinds of emotion, from sadness to anger to confusion, and I realized as I sat there that I was almost teleported back in time to when I was 12 years old, and I was feeling the exact same way about the death of Eddie Guerrero in 2005. Now, 2005 was a very different time, but also in some ways not so different. It was a different time because social media didn't really exist, so I didn't have the ability to connect with other wrestling fans to be able to cope through this situation of losing Eddie Guerrero. I also couldn't go on YouTube because YouTube didn't exist then, and I couldn't go back and watch Eddie Guerrero matches. I had a few matches taped on VHS, but that's all at that moment in time. All of the memory that I had left of Eddie Guerrero just dwindled down to a couple of matches on a VHS. So the world is very different in that regard, but it's also very much the same in a social regard, in that back then I didn't have any friends that were into the world of professional wrestling. I was scared to tell people that I was into professional wrestling for fear of being ostracized or bullied. And I know that that's something that a lot of you guys deal with. And because I didn't have anybody in my immediate social circle to talk about this with, I bottled those emotions and tried to deal with them by myself, trying to cope and understand as a 12-year-old that I just lost my favorite professional wrestler was very difficult to deal with, to the point where I became so jaded and disconnected with the world of professional wrestling that by the next year, I had stopped watching altogether, and I didn't come back as a full-time wrestling fan until 2011. So it hit me pretty damn hard. And I'm realizing that that is probably what many of you are feeling right now with the death of Bray Wyatt. I know that he was, for many of you, your favorite wrestler. Maybe he was the first wrestler that you identified with. Maybe he was a wrestler that maybe his image is something that you truly gravitated to. Maybe he was the guy that got you back into the world of professional wrestling after taking a hiatus. It doesn't matter the reason why. The fact of the matter is that many of you lost what I lost when I was 12, which is your beacon in the world of professional wrestling. For many of you, my Eddie is your Bray Wyatt. So really, I wanted to make this video to remind you that you don't have to be like me when I was 12 years old, or you have to bottle up this information and deal with it by yourself. Sure, you may not have those individuals in your inner circle that you can talk to about professional wrestling, probably because just like me when I was 12 years old, you don't want to share that aspect of your life with people that you think might bully you or laugh at you for being into professional wrestling. But unlike me in 2005, you have all of the interconnectivity of the world of the internet. You can go to a Twitch stream and in the 2K23 section and find a content creator that is grieving about Bray Wyatt just like you. You can go to Twitter and find a community of wrestling fans that are grieving just like you. TikTok, YouTube, everywhere. You aren't alone in this situation, even though you might feel alone because you don't have people around you to talk about this face to face. So I encourage you to talk things through in the comments of this on Twitter, make videos, go to YouTube and watch the backlog of fantastic Bray Wyatt moments and Bray Wyatt matches. All of these things, I promise you, will be cathartic and help you get through this. I just don't want to see you guys end up like me, where you end up being jaded about professional wrestling and maybe stop watching altogether. And look, as a wrestling content creator myself, I critique and I provide insight on things that I like and things that I don't like. And I've been quite vocal over the last 12 months about how I wasn't pleased with Bray Wyatt's recent run within the WWE. I didn't think that the writing work that he was given was great. I didn't think he was put in good opportunities. And ultimately, I felt like his last run fell flat. but that doesn't mean that I don't have so many amazing memories from the amazing, incredibly creative worker that was Bray Wyatt. Bayou Swamp Bray Wyatt as the head of the Wyatt family is literally a Hall of Fame worthy character, like just that alone. The Fiend, to me, the early days of The Fiend were some of the coolest, most refreshing days as a professional wrestling fan, because we were witnessing something that we had never seen before. And because I want you to be able to remember Bray Wyatt for all of the awesome things that he did, I want to share some of my favorite Bray Wyatt moments so that maybe you can hopefully follow suit, go into a rabbit hole of YouTube and find your favorite Bray Wyatt moments that will hopefully put a smile on your face and help you get through this really, really difficult time. Because I know it's hard for you. It's hard for me, and he wasn't my favorite wrestler. So I can only imagine what you're going through if he was your favorite wrestler, because I went through it in 2005. So like, I feel you right here, dog. All right, let's try and cheer this up a little bit, because first I want to share Bray Wyatt, The Fiend versus John Cena at WrestleMania 36 in the Firefly Funhouse match, and what I still to this day call my favorite WrestleMania match of all time for numerous reasons. One, I think that this was such a beautiful love letter about John Cena's career, and you all already know that I love and adore John Cena. This was also such a sigh of relief for wrestling fans, because all of us at this moment in time were so scared and concerned about what was going to happen to professional wrestling during the pandemic. The NBA had shut down, the Olympics weren't happening. What was going to happen to wrestling? And I really felt like this match brought about a sense of optimism that the WWE was going to be just fine even without fans, because it was full of incredibly creative individuals in their writing staff and in their wrestlers like John Cena and Bray Wyatt. But I love this so much because of the tribute that this was to John Cena's career, and I couldn't have asked for a better MC throughout this match than Bray Wyatt, as he took us through the different eras of John Cena, the ruthless aggression era John Cena, as well as the Doctor of Thugonomics, as well as bringing in some old school throwbacks of WWF times where we kind of broke the fourth wall and we had Bray Wyatt explain that the only way to succeed was to be talentless but incredibly muscular. And not to mention Bray Wyatt, hey, one thing we have to credit Bray Wyatt for is he's the one that finally gave us that Cena heel turn with the NWO John Cena, culminating in The Fiend defeating John Cena at WrestleMania. This is one of the greatest love letters to not just John Cena fans, but I really think to wrestling fans in general. And it was spearheaded from beginning to end by Bray Wyatt's amazing character work. To me, this is peak Bray Wyatt. He was doing just some of the best work of his career. And all of this coming off the back, losing the Universal title in the most bananas of ways to Goldberg. I'm still going to hold that grudge. I cannot believe Goldberg beat The Fiend here, and he still managed to move past that and give us and deliver to us one of the coolest things that the WWE has ever done. Another moment that I want to highlight, and I'm a little bit biased because I was there, is the debut of The Fiend at SummerSlam 2019 in a match between Finn Balor and The Fiend Bray Wyatt. In this match, we got to see the physical manifestation of evil that Bray Wyatt throughout his Firefly Funhouse matches had been talking about, and I was there in person because this took place in Toronto. And to this day, this is one of the most jaw-dropping pieces of production that I have ever seen from the WWE, and that is saying a lot because the WWE at its core is a production company. And let's not forget the amazing severed head lantern of Bayou Swamp Bray Wyatt. Everything about about this was so magical, so unique, and so refreshing. Honestly, it just goes to show the level of creativity that was in Bray Wyatt's mind to go from one character that was already incredibly creative, that perhaps maybe he felt was getting a little bit stale, and turning it upside down 360 degrees and punting it 80,000 feet into the air and giving us the Fiend, something equally as creative and as batshit insane as the Firefly Bray Wyatt. The creativity of this man is insane. Next up, if you are feeling down right now and you want a giant smile on your face, go on YouTube, well, you're already here, and look up Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy, The Ultimate Deletion, and you will be dying laughing at the hilarious banana story that these two told at the Hardy family compound. This match is honestly gold. I mean, we had appearances from holographic Matt Hardy, Vanguard, Senior Benjamin. We had the mower of lawns. We had the chair of wheels. And it had, to me, honestly, like one of the funniest freaking moments in wrestling history. Just watch this. Yes. Oh, man. Too good. Too good. Now, if you don't want to watch a comedy match, hey, let me suggest a couple of just banger Bray Wyatt matches that'll maybe help clear a little bit of the blues that you're dealing with. And that's the Wyatt family versus the Shield at Elimination Chamber in 2014. This is just mind-bogglingly good. You have all three members of the Shield who are at their peak athleticism. Their movement is insane. You can tell they have the bones of 20-something-year-olds, because nowadays they're much slower, much more methodical, but they were moving lightning fast. And then we have the Wyatt family, who similarly to the Shield was just on another level in terms of their intensity. Bray Wyatt, just another match telling a fantastic story. Luke Harper, also rest in peace, was just out of this world in this match. If you can kill 25 minutes, I suggest use those 25 minutes to go back and watch. It's on YouTube. The Shield versus the Wyatt family. You won't regret it. The other match that I think you should go watch is the technical and storytelling masterpiece that was Daniel Bryan, now Bryan Danielson in AEW, versus Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble 2014. So both of these guys during this match were probably the most popular things in the WWE. Bray Wyatt was far and away the most popular heel with the fans, and Daniel Bryan was red hot in his popularity, and that red hot popularity was really steered in the right direction because of the storyline that was being told with Bray Wyatt. The crowd for this match is electric. Their styles just meshed beautifully. Daniel Bryan was out of this world. So was Bray Wyatt. I'm telling you, like, if you want arguably one of the greatest singles matches in Royal Rumble history, you're looking at it right here. Daniel Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. And the last Bray Wyatt moment that I want to highlight to help me heal is his return in 2022, which blew me away. You know, I've been critical of everything that happened after this. I don't believe that he got really great writing or a great opportunity to build a strong character, but this return blew my goddamn mind. I was in San Diego, not in my house, in an Airbnb with shitty internet, watching this just with my jaw on the floor at the level of production, the way that WWE had set all this up with the QR codes, the White Rabbit, everything culminating in Bray Wyatt coming out of that door and showing us all of the different members of the Firefly Funhouse come to life in human-sized form was something that I don't know if WWE can ever recapture in terms of magic, because that was one of the coolest moments ever as a wrestling fan. It's one of those where, man, I wish I was there live in person, because it was electric on TV and I can only imagine what it was like in person. What's sad, of course, is that we'll never really get the culmination of this. We'll never know who was behind the masks. We'll never know what the long-term plan was. But that's okay, guys. You have countless hours of footage to be able to celebrate his work. You have to mourn this. I'm with you. I've been mourning it alongside with you. But you have so many avenues and so many levels of support to be able to connect with other wrestling fans to not have to do it on your own. All right, I'm done.